Hey and welcome to this video. In the next couple of minutes I'm gonna show you how I've built this rig and how you can switch the camera to this in just 2 minutes without any tools. By the way, sorry for this, it's not under my control anymore. Let's start with the camera itself. This is the 4K model. The same setup would work with the 6K. Here we have the Smallrig half cage. On the bottom here, this is the DJI Ronin S base plate. On the front of the base plate, I've mounted another plate that came with the Nucleus N follow focus. So this allows me to connect the Nucleus N directly to the base plate, like that. Now, the good thing about this half cage is it uses NATO rails. So this lets you attach all the parts really quickly. For example, this top handle here, this is by Smallrig as well, and it has a nice little part to attach the monitor. And as you can see, you can just tilt the monitor without having to adjust any screws, so that's really handy. Now let's mount this top handle to the cage. Here you can just slide it on and mount it in a second. Same thing goes for the side handle. This is also by Smallrig. It has another plate at the top which I've mounted. This is the quick release plate that came with the Nucleus N focus wheel. So you can just slide the focus wheel on the side grip like this. Now let's attach the side handle to the cage. Just slide it on like this. Now you could run this setup, but you would run out of battery within maybe 45 minutes. So I've thought about a nice power solution. I'm using this Andy Cine battery plate, and it's connected to a Smallrig base plate. And here on top I've screwed on a Manfrotto quick release plate. The cool thing about this Ronin S base plate is it also works with the Manfrotto base plate. I can just slide it on. Now we just need to connect the battery and connect the devices. The camera itself is powered with this small cable by Condor Blue. This is just a coiled D-tap to pin connector. The tilt focus motor is connected via a micro USB cable. We could even power the monitor from the battery because you have two more power outputs. By the way, I do recommend using these port protectors, otherwise you just easily break them. Now we have a nice handheld setup. It's solid, it has some weight to it, which helps for handheld work and gets you through half a day or a day depending of how you use the camera. A nice little feature I found out about the camera is that if you have a battery connected to it, let me switch that on. So you see here the blue light of the battery plate and the red light of the camera itself. So that means the V-mount is now charging the internal LP6 battery. And let me turn on the camera. So now the camera is running and it's running off the power of the V-mount battery. But if I turn off the V-mount now, the camera stays on and it's just running off the internal LP6 battery. So that's really good. If this one dies for some reason and you don't notice it, it will just switch. So now let's switch the camera from this rig to the Ronin S. Usually this would take a lot of time, which usually you don't have, and also you would need tools to do that. But with this kind of setup it's really easy. So let me turn off the monitor and the camera and unplug all the devices. And let's take off this side handle, top handle, and now just the camera itself. There you go. Now that didn't take me a minute and we have still the focus motor mounted, which we're gonna need on the Ronin. Let's mount it on the Ronin. And we're done. The only thing we need to do is connect the focus motor with this micro USB cable, and you can connect it directly to the power output of the Ronin, which is nice. Now this is the standard Ronin S, but here on the side we have a cheese plate basically with a NATO rail. So we can use the same handle as before and just slide it on. Alright, let me power on the Ronin. And there we go, we have the Pocket 4K on the Ronin S with dual handle and even a focus wheel on top of the handle. Switching from the rig to the Ronin took us maybe 2 minutes, and depending on how quickly you are, you can even do it faster. So that has been it for the video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you liked it, give me some love, and otherwise see you next time.